Welcome to my April patron exclusive. Is that what month we're in? So I'm doing another screencast this month, and I wanted to show you guys what is in my YouTube subscription feed. Just a bit about my history with YouTube. I started watching beauty videos on YouTube probably, I want to say, maybe around 2010 or 2011. You know who I used to watch? Yeah, it was these girls. Luxie Hair. You can see now they have 3 million subscribers. But back in the day, like, this is actually really funny that I'm doing this. I want to see what some of their oldest videos are. Yeah, so the 7 years ago. So it was these two sisters, Layla, which is this one, and Mimi, which is this one. And they had this hair extension company, and they just did all of these hairstyle videos. And so this was sort of my foray into YouTube. You know who else I used to watch all the time? I think she's actually over here, but has not uploaded videos in a really, really long time. Berlin Hair Baby. I don't know if anyone remembers her, but she has all of these videos on sort of vintage hairstyles. So I kind of got into YouTube trying to do hair. I was really interested in doing sock buns, and then I got like kind of really into extensions. And from there, I realized that there was this whole world of beauty videos. Cue me going on just like the deepest dive ever, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago into beauty YouTube land, and things have just changed so radically, as I'm sure that you know. You know, a lot of the people I used to watch, Nicole Guerrero, Jaclyn Hill, there's just so many, Tati, Glam Life Guru. I don't watch a lot of those people anymore. So what I think I'm going to show you today, you can see, I think it showed up over here that I have 98 subscriptions. A lot of these people don't upload regularly, but I thought it would be a little more interesting to maybe just kind of go through my feed, and I can talk you through kind of what's on here. And then I'll end with pulling up a couple channels that notable channels that I don't watch anymore and why. But as I was sort of, I have a little list beside my laptop. I was sort of like, well, how deep should I go with this? I mean, there's a lot of channels I don't watch anymore. So I basically just pulled, I think, 5 channels that at one point I really liked and felt connected to, and now I just don't. And there are particular reasons why. So why don't we start with me just kind of walking you through my feed? I mean, this is as of today. I don't even know what the date is. April... Very out of it, guys. April 26th. So this is my YouTube subscription feed as of April 26th at 3:06 p.m. in the afternoon. And actually, I just watched Daylene's most recent video before I got up to do this one, and I really recommend it. If you are a content creator and you have a small to sort of a medium-sized following, I think you'd be able to relate to a lot of what she says in this video. I thought it was really good. So that's the most recent video I just watched, but why don't we just start here at the top? And I don't really know, we'll just kind of go until I get fatigued, perhaps, or you kind of, things start seeming a little bit repetitive. So the astrology channel, this is Hellenistic astrologer Chris Brennan. He's not the astrology teacher that I study with. I study with Adam Ellenboss of Nightlight Astrology, but Chris Brennan is a very well-known Hellenistic astrologer who also teaches, and he has a very high-quality podcast that I listen to really regularly. I don't tend to watch the videos on YouTube, but there's just a ton of content here, as you can see. I've become a bit of an astrology snob, for better or worse. I used to watch actually a lot of other more modern astrology channels, and now I kind of just stick to like the hardcore classically trained astrologers, because I think that, what's the most diplomatic way to say it? I think it's the most accurate way to apply astrology to one's life. Yeah, I highly recommend Chris Brennan's YouTube channel as well as his podcast. He also has an account on Patreon. Okay, I'm brand new to subscribing to this channel Real Life Plus Curly Girl. I've actually never seen a video of hers, but it was a recommended channel from a viewer of mine. And I think she's a sort of a relatively small channel. Yeah, she just came very highly recommended from someone who watches my videos. You can see she's an InnerSense user. She looks like she has some other makeup and skincare videos and like a good sized channel, under 10,000, which I really like. So I'm going to be giving her a try. Stay tuned. Daleen I really like. So there's, as you'll kind of see in my feed, there's not really a lot of, well, first of all, I don't really follow a lot of explicitly eco YouTubers, I guess. And part of that is mainly because I don't like to have my own reviews or perspective on products colored by watching other people's reviews, if that makes sense. So sometimes I will, like I subscribe to And the Color Green is someone that I watch, but kind of like of this size channel, you know, small to 10, 15, 20,000. There's not a lot, and Daleen is kind of one of the only ones that I watch regularly. Lisa Eldridge, of course. She's one that I have stuck with ever since I started watching YouTube, goes without saying. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I haven't watched this one yet, but her video before that, this beetroot lips and brow growth discovery, is like all eco products, which I thought was really interesting. And listening to her talk about it, I thought was, you know, really interesting. Let's see if she lists she doesn't even list the products that she uses, but it's like all natural products. TT Sandra, I still really, really enjoy. She has about 50,000 subscribers, 50 or 55,000 subscribers now, and she's been on YouTube for quite a long time. She does do more sponsored work now, but she's one of the only ones that I feel has been able to bridge that gap, you know, pretty well. I think she's stayed really down to earth. I love when she films with her friend Dina, I think is her name. I follow her on Instagram and really like her. I mean, Sandra started out, as I'm sure, I bet most of you probably already watch her. She's been on YouTube for 7 years as well. And I really admire her sort of consistency and her ability to grow in a really kind of elegant and grounded way. So she's definitely always been sort of like a YouTube inspiration for me and someone that I have stuck with, even as she has sort of professionalized her blogging perspective. Okay, Kendra Atkins is interesting because even before I started making YouTube videos, I was watching Kendra. She was actually kind of one of the first more green or organic leaning channels. She's never really marketed herself as being only an eco channel. She used to be Vlog with Kendra back in the day, if you remember that. And I used to watch her. I really enjoyed, like, she does really good empties videos. She would do skincare videos. Yeah, see, like, these were all her older videos that I used to watch. So she's been on YouTube about 5 years. She does gluten-free videos. And then I took a very long break when she started doing all of her pregnancy content. I just wasn't really interested at the time when she got pregnant with her twins. But recently, in the last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, 6 months, I started watching like some of her grocery hauls, and then her day in the life vlogs with her twins have been like very enjoyable. So I kind of have picked her up again. She's someone that I took a long break from, but I do really like her. I was talking about her channel with someone in either in the comments of one of my videos or somewhere, and they pointed out that for someone of her channel size, you know, almost 150,000 subscribers, and she does do a fair amount of sponsored work, but again, she's someone that I think does it pretty well. She still comes across as a very like normal, grounded, real person, and I appreciate that about her. She's just seems very down to earth, and I definitely enjoy her content these days. Okay, I subscribe to this European Space Agency channel. I truthfully don't watch a lot of those videos. You can see another one here. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just hide videos that I'm kind of not interested in watching. Sometimes something interesting will pop up, but it's just kind of, I like to feel connected to the cosmos, and sometimes they do interesting stuff. I am subscribed to Glossier. Actually, they've featured this model before, so I'm probably going to come back and watch this. That looks interesting. Violette, I do watch. I have sort of conflicted views on her. I think that she's one of these like highly, highly aesthetically luxury aspirational sort of French girl channels. I like these recent collaboration videos that she's been doing with people. Like she's been doing these cooking videos with her friend Sophia, and then she did like a flower, where is it? Makeup in Bloom with Nicolas, a French friend of hers who's a florist, and this video is so enjoyable to watch. I highly recommend. So in a way, to me, these are sort of like aesthetic makeup porn, but I guess my issue with her, I mean, a lot of her videos are sort of formulaic, I guess I would say. I think that what they do is they create an aspirational luxury aesthetic. If you read through the comments of her videos, it's people like, oh, like I just love everything about you. And it's sort of like a Sex and the City, overly glamorizing, like owning a bunch of designer goods and living this extremely chic life in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Like if you see her apartment, like no one that age lives that way. It's just, it's not really very reality based. So totally the opposite of, you know, these kind of more grounded people like Kendra. This to me is just kind of, it's fun and fantasy. It's not real life, I think. And that's fine. Like everything has a place, right? But I think she's marketing this vibe to young, impressionable girls and women. And that's just something that I think about sometimes, especially when I read through the comments of her work. Okay, what else? Some of this stuff, like I'm subscribed and I don't ever really pay attention. Eating for Meaning, I can't even honestly tell you what that is. I think someone recommended that channel to me and I just haven't. I think it's like maybe a tarot sort of channel. I don't know. I subscribe to this yoga channel. I really like Yoga with Adriene, but sometimes I like to have sort of other yoga options. I can't recommend it per se, because if I do yoga videos, I'm still primarily doing Yoga with Adriene, but something to consider. Purple Valley Ashtanga Yoga. Here's another European space agency. Okay, so Clelia2612, I think her name is Aurelie. She's a French YouTuber. All of her videos are in French. Again, she's sort of a smaller to mid-sized channel that I really appreciate. And she reviews a lot of eco skincare products and makeup products, but all in French. She and I are sort of social media friends. We've mentioned each other in other videos. And let's actually see how long she has been on YouTube. So if you're, looking to practice French, I really enjoy, she talks very, very fast. I think she actually works at like a Laura Mercier or some makeup counter in France. Yeah, I remember thinking she had some sort of Laura Mercier tie. Doesn't she sort of look like Ramona Singer from Real Housewives here? Wow. She really does kind of look like her there. So my favorite thing to do is when I'm painting my nails, I'll watch her videos and listen to French and like practice French. But you can see here, she's reviewing the Foot Glow foundation in French, the Evolve H shampoo. She does a lot of sort of outfit stuff. So I really like her. British Vogue I subscribe to. I don't watch a lot of the stuff, but every now and then, like sometimes they'll have Camille Rowan, who I enjoy. More European space agency stuff that I just can't be really that bothered with. David Cochran is another astrologer. I think he is the person that, I'm not sure. So there's an astrology program called Solar Fire. And I'm not sure if he's the one that developed it, but he's like an astrology program developer. These programs that professional astrologers use to cast charts and use on the computer, like in a professional astrology practice. So I really just kind of have him on here for reference, and I've watched certain things he does, and it's interesting. It's just very didactic, as you can imagine. Okay, of course, Jordan Samuel Skin I subscribe to. I love Jordan. I don't know if we'll have enough time to get down all the way, but what he did this like kind of, how do I say it diplomatically? There was this sort of flurry of cliquish skincare activity when they were all in LA together. It was Jordan and Stephanie Nicole and Carolyn Hirons and May Lindstrom and the January Labs person. I don't even know who that is. Of that bunch, I would say Stephanie Nicole and Jordan are kind of my favorites, just sort of personality-wise and the content that they produce. Carolyn Hirons, I have complicated thoughts on. I'll save them for when we get to a video of hers. But Jordan, I love and adore. I have had a professional facial done with him. He's lovely in person. I think he makes excellent skincare. And I watched this video this morning, actually. And I just think, like, who doesn't love Jordan? Everybody loves Jordan. There's another Daleen video. Okay, so Adam Ellenboss is actually my astrology teacher, and he also has a YouTube channel. He started video blogging kind of more regularly this last year. He has a small but growing channel. His primary activity is actually on his blog. So this is his website. You can see he does a lot of blog posts, but then he'll often interject with video blogs as well. So highly recommend him. I mean, I'm biased, I guess, because he's my teacher, but he's my most trusted astrology resource. And like, I find his monthly forecasts really, really good. And he talks about seasonal symbolism or major planetary activity that's happening. And it's just, I think he's great. And he has a new certification course starting in June. Actually, I think I'm going to mention it in my April favorites. Yeah, his next class begins Sunday afternoons starting in June, and it's a year-long natal chart certification course. I can't recommend him enough. Okay, University of Chicago Alumni Careers Program is, obviously open to anybody, but I did go to U of C for undergrad, and they have a very useful channel for kind of all things career related. I found some of this stuff, thinking about making career change, resume building, LinkedIn stuff, career exploration. So they've been really good and useful. So if you're looking for any kind of career advice, I recommend my alma mater's resource. See, this looks cool. These I might come back and watch. Animated 3D view of the sky. I'm into that. Okay, Adam Barrelay, I'm just going to kind of power through these. His content has sort of changed, and I kind of might unsubscribe from him. He used to be a channel that I watched for information about crystals, primarily. So if you see some of his older videos, pretty much any crystal you can imagine, he's probably done a video on. Celestite, Andean blue opal, crystals I haven't even heard of. Larimar, Morganite, Bumblebee stone. How beautiful are all of these stones? Dragonstone, ruby, amber, red garnet. This is how I found him. I actually remember I was looking up lapis lazuli. I think this was the first video of his I ever watched. But then he started doing some content on essential oils. But some of his newer stuff I haven't been watching as much. See, he's done like a lot of essential oil videos, and then I don't know what these Facebook Live repostings are. So I haven't watched him in a while, but he's a great resource for the archives if you're interested in a particular crystal. Okay, the Anna edit. Anna was someone that, I watched her when she was Viviana Does Makeup, you guys, and she was one of my very, very favorites. I loved her to death. Now, she's a bigger channel. Let's see, I think she's like 500,000. Yeah, 450,000. But let's just take a moment to appreciate some of her older videos. This is the YouTube that I miss. It's just, a girl in her bedroom talking about her favorite blushes or talking about what's in her bag, doing her makeup. Her makeup application videos were some of my favorites. Everyday makeup number 3. I used to die for these sorts of videos. And as we know, she's changed, and not even necessarily, I don't begrudge it at all that she's definitely does a lot of sponsored content. She goes on these really uncomfortable, culturally appropriated trips to Vietnam with Kiehl's. What was that? I don't know if you guys watched this. I also watched Alana Davison's Vietnam vlog. When they were harvesting those lime leaves in those Vietnamese worker hats, I was just so uncomfortable with the whole thing. And I'm not normally one that's overly sensitive about cultural appropriation, but the whole thing felt so rotten to me. Just ridiculous. I couldn't even deal. So I'm not into stuff like this. You can see I did watch it though. I'm not as into her home renovation stuff, and Lily Pebbles is actually also someone I used to watch who I can't really watch at all anymore. I did unsubscribe from her, and I had actually unsubscribed from Anna for a while, but ended up coming back because she will still do videos I really like. I really have always just liked her makeup videos. I like watching her apply makeup. I think that's what she excels at. I don't like her capsule wardrobe. First of all, I hate the way she says capsule. She says capsule, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. I hate it. Capsule wardrobe. Because all of her stuff is luxury for the most part. And she'll do like my designer bag collection. Like, no, sorry, I'm not interested at all. I'm not interested in these elaborate trips away. I do like her What I Eat in a Day videos, but they've been sponsored by Waitrose recently, which is a grocery store, which is just kind of funny. That's kind of the deal. I'll sort of sporadically watch her stuff. I'll watch her favorites. I'll watch her What I Eat in a Day or Day in a Life. I'll always watch her makeup videos, but I kind of tend to skip some of the, like I haven't watched this yet. I'm just kind of not really that interested personally. Science and Non-Duality is an interesting channel if you're into more sort of metaphysical content. This and the Institute for Noetic Sciences I would recommend. There have been some very good, like I've watched some really good talks on this channel. Just kind of thought-provoking stuff if you're into what the bleep sort of talk, then yeah, I recommend Science and Non-Duality. Mixed Makeup is a channel I actually think I'm going to unsubscribe from right now. You're going to see it live in action. This was a channel that was recommended by Narita Joy, I think, mentioned this in one of her videos. And I mean, you can see they're a big channel, like 500,000. I'm just kind of like not into the content, honestly. They do kind of these short, quippy sorts of videos, but they're, I guess like if you're into more sort of enhancement or plastic surgery, like lip injections, chemical peel, I kind of was interested, not because I'm personally interested in it for myself, but more like I'm sort of objectively interested in these different perspectives on beauty and makeup. The stuff I've watched, I'm just like, they seem a little plastic to me, I'll be honest, and it's just kind of not really my thing. But I thought it could be interesting to sort of keep track of what broader, outside of our niche of eco-organic beauty, what are kind of some broader beauty trends that people are into. And then I just realized like I'm not into any of it. Like I'm not into cool sculpting. I don't want to get a Botox facial. I don't want eyelid surgery. Yeah, I think I'm done. Okay, so here's another Kendra Atkins video. Hitchcock Madrona, I love. If you guys don't follow her, I bet you would love her. I've met her in person. She and I have done collab videos together, and we actually have a video that we filmed together in person, part 1 and part 2 on each of our channels on sort of like work-life balance. And I like her Get Ready With Me videos are some of my very favorites. Old school YouTube right here, and she's just such a pleasure. I love her. And her Outfit of the Week videos. She'll film like an outfit of the day, like every day during the week and string them together. And she's very theatrical and it's just super, super fun. Okay, there's a repeat of Orally. Okay, here's Alana Davison. I bet a lot of you know her, may watch her. Okay, I watched her when her channel was tiny. Again, she had, you know who told me about her? Was a longtime subscriber of mine, Kelly, who I've met in person. We actually met at a night for green beauty like 3 years ago. She was the one that told me about Alana's channel. So it looks like this was 3 years ago. Yeah, that makes sense because that's when Kelly told me about her. And she literally had like 2,000 subscribers. Like, or maybe she's even deleted some of her older videos. But I remember the first video I watched of her, she had like a beanie on. It was like a favorites video and she was like wearing a beanie. And I really liked her. I just thought she was this kind of sweet, down-to-earth Canadian girl. And then she kind of totally underwent the YouTube transformation. You can see it happening before your very eyes. And I took a long break from her. I've only been watching her videos again in the last like 2 or 3 months. And again, this is sort of like a Violette kind of channel for me. It's just kind of like candy. This is kind of like my YouTube junk food. You know, she has an agent and does tons of sponsored content and goes on all these trips. I don't know what it is. Like there's something enjoyable to me about watching her do her makeup, even though she doesn't really buy any of her own makeup anymore. Like watching her in Tulum with her, you know, attractive hipster boyfriend. I don't know. It's gonna wear thin. I think I'm just kind of going through a little phase. If you want to know what I was talking about with the cultural appropriation, watch this or don't watch it because yeah. Okay, we're starting to repeat, but I'll do a couple more. So Whitney Simmons is really the only workout channel that I still follow. Nikki Blackadder I used to watch for a long time, and she's on my list of people I don't watch anymore. Whitney I watch because I think her workout videos are really good, and that's about it. I don't tend to watch anything else really. As you can see, I'll watch her workout. I'll watch her What I Eat in a Day videos. She'll do a sporadic Get Ready With Me, which is okay. She's very, very young millennial. She says stuff like, you know, hype and everything is fire and, you know, just like stuff I'm kind of over in my 30s. But her workout videos, I think, are super, super good. Style Like You is a great channel. Most of you probably already know about it. It's sort of like a docu-series where they interview people taking off their clothes and kind of telling their personal story, like stripping down to their under things. And they're very moving. I mean, this one is really good, the one with Melinda Alexander. I actually followed her on social media for a while after this, and then I kind of maxed out. One of my favorite ones is with Jemima Kirk. I don't know if I can find it right now, but it's so good. The actress that plays Jessa on Girls, it's like one of my very favorites. Where is it? Yeah, this one I highly recommend. It's so good. And then they did one with her sister as well. I'm blanking on her sister's name. I really liked Barbie Ferreira's too. Very, very good. I mean, they're just all, like, I cry often when I watch them. They're extremely touching and yeah, really, really excellent content. Okay, so I think that's kind of about it. I mean, there's sort of random other stuff in here. Harry Makes It Up. You know, like, I've watched her for a while as well. Harry, I just don't think she's kind of the most stimulating person on YouTube. So I'm subscribed. I don't tend to watch her videos that often. Sometimes I'll watch her makeup application videos. Yoga with Adriene, of course, have loved for years. Teal Swan, very controversial. I'm still subscribed, although I don't take the time to really watch her videos as much anymore. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I've always thought that she does have useful things to say, and I don't get caught up in all of kind of the gossip and hype around her, to be honest. This is a good channel, Speed Beauty by Carolyn Barnes, another recommendation from someone that watches me. Sally Hughes Beauty, Stephanie Nicole, I adore. God, I really do there's a lot of content on here. I feel like I don't watch that much, but as you can tell, I kind of do. Stephanie Nicole is really the only channel of this type where she really keeps it real. I mean, and that's why I watch her. And she was someone that it took me a while to come around to. Like, I remember when I first clicked through, I was like, I don't know if I can do it. She has a very thick accent. She's all inked up, very Suicide Girl vibe. Not for everybody, but she really is super knowledgeable and thorough and detailed, and her videos are just useful. Like, I learn things from her. Narita Joy, I adore. You would learn so much. It's like so soothing to watch her do skincare treatments on people. I'm just obsessed. I'll just quickly do these. Makeup TIA, I've watched her for years and years. She's, you know, she doesn't make videos much anymore. Like once every couple months they'll come out, but I assume most of you probably already know her. Jess from Stark, of course, I watch. She hasn't done a video in a while either. I guess this was 6 days ago, so maybe she does them weekly, which is about how I do them. Yeah, this was a great video, actually. I really liked it. Intervisions is a record label out of Germany that I follow. Oh, Free Range Diva. She's another one kind of in the vein of Daleen. She actively watches my videos and comments, so I consider us to be sort of like YouTube creator friends, and she does kind of more mature beauty, like beauty for 50+ women, and she has such super sweet energy, so I really enjoy her. Monica Blunder. Another makeup artist whose affect kind of irritates me. So I've been subscribed to her for years, but I'll generally only watch her makeup application videos. And Jenny Patinkin, I think we're getting a little repetitive. So now, if I could show you a couple channels that I don't watch anymore, even though I've kind of been interspersing why I don't watch particular people anymore, probably the number one person I don't watch anymore, and I've tried to get back into her and I cannot, is Estee Lalonde. Let's see if her... Good morning, everyone. Oh God, I can't. Okay, let's see if her older videos are up. I know I am not alone in Essie Button being... I mean, you guys, she was so sweet and so cute and so unassuming and funny and like adorable and super young. I mean, she was probably like 19 or 20 when she was making these videos. First of all, on the record though, I have never liked her boyfriend. He has always irritated me endlessly, and I just tolerated him in her vlogs. But she was just such a sweet, chill girl. People change, right? And she's someone that I think really changed a lot over the course of her YouTube ascent. I mean, she's now a multimillionaire, I'm sure. She's branched into writing books and doing podcasts. And you know, when I kind of stopped watching her is when I remember watching her on some trip, and she just seemed totally disinterested, not really engaged. And what I ended up thinking about her, and this is going to sound like maybe a little bit harsh, but I'm just going to be completely honest on my read of it because I'm talking to like a community of, you know, critical thinkers and like-minded people. She strikes me as someone that didn't have a super strong sense of self, which like who does at 19, but she also just didn't really seem to have much of a solid education. And I don't mean that to sound elitist or condescending or anything, but when you don't have a broader framework for the world and kind of like a solid education, you kind of come into money and this experience and you don't really have a way to put it in context, if that makes sense. So she just started seeming incredibly superficial and lacking like a depth of engagement with the world that would have kept me with her, if that makes sense. She just started to come across really quite shallow and full of herself. And I remember watching interviews that she would do with people, and she was just incredibly self-referential, cutting people off, full of herself. And obviously, you know, she's been extremely successful in this world, which is great, but she just lost me somewhere along the way. And I think she started catering to a younger viewership. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I have to say about it. I've tried to like pop back in and watch her stuff, and literally after a couple minutes, like I can't do it. Like this is just like cringe. I can't. So I don't want to dwell on being super negative about people, but those are sort of my thoughts on that. Now, Lily Pebbles is another one who I always kind of liked Anna's personality more than Lily's, but I watched Lily regularly for probably like 2 or 3 years. So she has like a very interesting personality. Like, I think she's actually just very sort of introverted and shy, but she can definitely come across as like kind of standoffish, unsure of herself. And I think I kind of have a soft spot for her because the way that she comes off to me is how I have always felt like people perceive me sometimes, and maybe not always in the best way. You know, as someone that kind of maybe has a wall up, isn't that sure of herself. She's not like an overly effusive person, but I did, especially I feel like when she and Anna became friends, like you can see here, like I thought they had a lot of fun together and had a really sweet friendship. And I watched her very regularly, I would say about until the time she got married. And that's when I kind of dropped off. Wasn't really interested in hearing her talk about like her house hunting struggles in London. And she just wasn't like particularly relatable to me in a lot of ways. And I didn't like her personality enough to, you know, kind of keep coming back. Again, she's one that like I'll kind of try and pop back in and see what she's up to. I watched her 2017 beauty favorites, but yeah, for the most part, she's someone that I just sort of dropped off from, mostly just because of a lack of resonance with her personality, which is totally fine because she has 462,000 people that she does resonate with. Okay, this one was a kind of hard because I was a die-hard Nikki B fan for the longest time. And she was one that like when I discovered her, Morning Sunshine, I actually still think she's super cute and sweet. This is a case of I've always liked her. I just stopped liking her content. So she was one that when I discovered her, I went back and I've seen like every single video that she ever did. And she used to do like these bikini competitions, which I think are just totally unhealthy and crazy, but you know, kind of fun to watch people do. Look at her, baby Nikki and Christian Guzman. It was just like such an era, right? And then they broke up and then she moved to LA, and I actually don't think she really changed, but I do think that her, like the direction of her channel sort of changed. Yeah, like where are the workout videos, you know? Like look, it's all PO unboxing, 28 things I learned in 28 years. Like, I don't really turn to Nikki for life advice. I turn to Nikki for like fun workout vlogs, you know? I'm just not into this stuff. Okay, just a couple more. So we all know Jaclyn Hill. Used to watch her, cannot even deal anymore. I don't know if I have anything more to say about it than that, except, yeah, she has 5 million subscribers and I don't even know what to say. I can't. Kathleen Lights was another one I watched for quite a while. Almost 4 million subscribers. And I watched Jaclyn longer than I watched Kathleen. Kathleen was not never as like captivating to me, I guess, as Jacqueline was, but I think that's just kind of like a personal preference. Okay, now I have two others. For the longest time, I used to watch Michelle1218. And I'll still kind of pop back in and see what she's up to. She was kind of one, like, I don't know. Hey guys, this is how many of you guys watched Makeup by Tiffany D? I used to watch her back in the day. I think my issue with her is that I just ended up not, like, she sells Stella and Dot, which I was never that into. She features a lot of fast fashion kind of stuff, which I'm not into. And kind of the makeup she uses is just was never really my thing. She's kind of I don't mean this to sound super disparaging, but she's sort of like a very generic channel. Vanilla, like FabFitFun and Blue Apron and that kind of thing. I know that sounds like kind of snobby, but I just kind of lost interest, honestly. And the last one, Mary A. I don't know how she pronounces it. I watched her when her channel was very small. This was another recommendation from my friend Kelly, actually. And I watched a little bit, etc. for a number of years. Okay, my issue with her, I liked her. I thought she was knowledgeable. I just found that when I would watch her videos, all she would do she was just rattling off products. Like there was no depth to her review, really. It was just kind of like, I like this, I don't like this, this is pretty, ooh, this feels good. And I was like, I need some more meat to my review. Like this is just, it was like a show and tell without any real substance to it. And she was another one that just kind of, she would do like a lot of like luxury. I'm really not into like the luxury handbag and luxury clothing stuff as like a centerpiece. You know, speaking of this, you know who else I used to watch, who for not very long, because specifically of this kind of luxury, like Louis Vuitton collection unboxing. I get that there's like totally a market for this kind of thing, but oh, apparently she had a baby. I didn't know that. She thinks she's an anesthesiologist, or she was in school for anesthesiology, and I watched her for maybe like 6 months, I want to say. She kind of reminds me of Marnie, this Gold Girl, Ms. Gold Girl or whatever, who I've never really watched with any regularity. Yeah, this was just a total lack of interest in the content. The thing I thought was kind of unique and interesting about her is she had a focus on like technology. So she would review like new technology products that I thought was, you know, not a lot of people do that. She's like Louis Vuitton obsessed, and like that's fun. What's in my bag? Louis Vuitton Speedy. It's just not so much my thing. Why don't we just end on that note, guys? Absolutely love to hear from you in the comments. Any thoughts you have on this, suggestions you have for people I could watch, or I feel like the comments people leave on the Patron-exclusive videos and the live streams that I do are some of the most insightful comments that I get ever on my videos. It's like you take the time to really kind of think and engage, and it's something I appreciate so much. And yeah, you guys are just amazing. Thank you so much for another month of patronage. I hope you enjoyed this. Screencasts are super fun to do, so I like including them as an option. Yeah, let me know if you have any follow-up questions, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.